Hi Leo, welcome to your October 2018 general tarot reading. It's raining here. Wow, the first three cards I got all major arcana. Can we go for 4? No. I had one time where I did that and I was like, another major arcana card. Okay, there we go. Took a while, but we got there. Here we go. Wow. Wow, that's really impressive. So we have 5 major arcana cards. In case you didn't know, major arcana cards can indicate major impactful events, change that is occurring during the time frame of the reading, or even, you know, beyond, I guess, but at least in this general time frame. And so the minor arcana can be more of the mundane day-to-day events. Well, which one should I do first? At the base of this reading is the Lover's card. Yes, the Lover's card is self-explanatory for people that are interested in amour. But also, the Lover's card can indicate partnership, and it can indicate a choice that needs to be made. It also connects with the sign of Gemini. And in October, we have Venus retrograde. So you may hear from a past lover, and maybe that's why it's in this foundation, because it can indicate the past that's influencing the future. So you may have been lovers with somebody, and they're coming back into the picture. I'm not saying that this is a guarantee, but it is in the foundation of this reading. So it's kind of informing the rest of the cards. And we have as the heart of the matter, kind of the key theme, the Emperor. The Emperor is the father. So your father could be figuring into your life for some reason. And perhaps you were, you know, if you had to go home and take care of a family, you know, like your father, for instance. It's interesting because when I was trying to figure out if there was, for some reason I got this family vibe about this, but when I actually looked at the cards, it didn't seem like it. So I'm wondering, for Leo, your 4th house is Scorpio. The sun does go into Scorpio. I think it's on the 23rd of October. The sun represents the father. So it is possible that, especially in late October, that you may be going back. And this is where the Venus retrograde is happening. So you may be going back to your hometown, to where, you know, your house was, and something you need to take care of matters. It could even be like real estate issues with Venus retrograding in this house, and Venus can bring money in the area of real estate. But this might have to do with your family home or something along those lines. But apart from that, the Emperor connects to the sign of Aries, which is another fire sign besides Leo. So this could be somebody who is a new person in your life, and maybe this Lover's card represents somebody from the past. We do have here the Tower, which is in the challenge position. So I think it might be, I would read it as an upright card, because that's the more challenging position, I believe. You know what I think could be happening for some people is that the Emperor might be somebody that you got with as a rebound. So if you, excuse me, Leo, if you had a partner and you found out that they were unfaithful, for instance, and it was kind of a shock to you, and on a rebound you got with the Emperor, maybe you even it was so hasty that you might have even had a child. This person may be the father of your child, because when I said the father, it might be the father of your child, and you got really involved with this person, and then it turns out that you realize that you never really loved this person. You still are in love with this person, and this person comes back. It's very important that you remember why you split up to begin with. And it may have been very sudden that you broke with this person. That's why I said about cheating, because it's like you walk in on someone when they're in the act, and it's just like you run out crying or something like that. Or they just like ghost you. They just disappear. The spiritual message for you, oh, I just messed up my thing, is the Nine of Swords. And this is kind of like going along with what I just said. What was it? Did this person, if this is a person from the past, who this card represents, what did they do that caused you this anxiety? This is a card of anxiety. Don't forget that, because you're in this glow of reunion. Because you may, you know, get back with somebody who has no, you know, some people, they're just like, this person, I've had people say this to me. Oh, you know, this person left and they never told me why they were leaving. They just left, and I'm wondering if they're going to come back. And what do you think the first thing I say to them is? Why would you want somebody back who didn't even have the decency to tell you why they were leaving? It's very clear-cut to me. It's incredibly disrespectful for somebody to do that. Unless you're a psycho and they're trying to get away from you, then that's a different story. But if you're a decent person and they just ghost you, they just like disappear off the face of the earth, and then they come back, that's kind of like what narcissists do. They, you know, they call it love bombing. You know, they deprive the person of attention, and they just like cut it off very abruptly, and then they come back and they're like totally, you know, showering them with affection. And some people, they're so hungry for that they will just bask in it, and they won't like even question like, whoa, wait a second, this person was a complete, you know, asshat to me. You know, they disrespected me. Why am I flattered by that? I don't want anything to do with them. So you really have to look at things more deeply. With the Lover's card too, if it's a choice that you are making, you may feel this sense of anxiety. Watch, I think the spiritual message is, watch your anxiety. What is it telling you? It's telling you something. Don't shove it under the rug. Your current state is represented by the Queen of Pentacles. So this is, you know, you are royalty, Leo. You are the queen. You are the king. So you've, you know, I was going to say you the man, but, you know, this is a woman. This is like you being like the ruling the roost. This is the person who is really like connected to their home and connected to their family, connected to the earth, connected to money. But it's a very feminine energy. So it's kind of interesting because there's a sense of abundance with this queen, and fertility and all the good things of the home and hearth. But by the same token, it's also a feminine energy, which is more passive. This is a double feminine energy, so it's more passive. It may be, because Leo is a sign, being a fire sign, that's very extroverted and can be aggressive, confident, but sometimes arrogant if the person doesn't watch out. And this is about laying low, maybe. I'm putting that into my interpretation. Maybe you need to just like, I see the queen. It's kind of funny. I don't know why, but I see her as solitary, almost like the Nine of Pentacles. That she has the ability to take care of herself because she is in a position of authority, being a queen. Also, this is being a mother. So we have the Emperor as the father, the Queen as the mother. And perhaps if you do have children, you need to think about them if you're making a decision about a romantic relationship. And how is it going to affect the household? Because I think of the Queen of Pentacles in a very domestic sort of way. And thinking about, these kinds of issues. Now, with the, I really got off talking, about romantic relationships, but in terms of the workplace and things like that, the Emperor can be like the kind of boss that's very dictatorial, and maybe something happened that, well, even like the Tower card could be like suddenly losing your job, and yet you are kind of taking control of your life. Maybe there were other things that happened that kind of like you look back and you see, oh yeah, I was already struggling. I was already dealing with some stuff. And this is why I lost my job. And the Emperor is you gaining control back in your life and feeling a sense of empowerment. And the Lover's card might be that you're partnering up with somebody else. So you lost your job and you decided to go into business with somebody else. So that's always a possibility. What's coming in is represented by the Devil card. This is associated with Capricorn. I was even going to tell you, I didn't say it before, but I always associate the Emperor with Capricorn and not Aries. But I don't know if any other, like a prominent tarot expert agrees with that. But the Devil card can be having to watch for lust and materialism and all the compulsions. Sometimes it's addictive tendencies, compulsive tendencies that either keep you with this Lovers, keep you in this anxious state because you may be involved with somebody who is very sexy but not necessarily very good for you. Might be a one-dimensional relationship. Also with materialism, staying with a person or a job because of that, even though you feel this sense of like with the Tower card, it may have just been a real blow, something that maybe a demotion even, or as I said before, a loss of a job that leads you to want to just get a job that makes the most money. And for Leo, that's never going to work because you really are a natural leader, you're creative, and you rule the 5th house of pleasure. So if you're doing something that doesn't feel pleasurable, it's very hard for you to do a good job because you're going to feel resentful. Your energy levels are going to be really low, and you're not going to be that infectious, warm personality that you normally are. So looking at these things that trip us up, addictive tendencies, and the addiction includes addiction to money, addiction to status, and things like that, or addiction to a toxic relationship. The outcome is the Chariot, and I see so much common ground between the Chariot and the Emperor, because this is about taking the reins of the horse and taking control of your life. And this can point to victory because of it, because you're you may have a lot going on in October, Leo, but I think that if you are willing to really step up your game and assume your rightful position as somebody who is tends to be a very hardworking individual, as I said before, a natural leader, and has a lot of dignity and a lot of charisma, that you can emerge victorious even with challenges around you. Now, the Chariot card also connects to the sign of Cancer. You are going to have the North Node going into Cancer in November. That's the next transit. And you did have a solar eclipse here over the summer. And, well, for you Aussies, I meant in July, okay? And so the North Node is going into that 12th house in Cancer. And this is happening on November 8th, so this is in the next month. But that can be a time, because the North Node is talking about the direction that you are to be going in. And this is a very spiritual transit with the North Node in the 12th house. So it's also behind the scenes. So it's a lot more subdued. You may be in an 18-month period starting in November that you are experiencing maybe all sorts of like good karma from past lives, that just kind of like, because the North Node, the transiting North Node is kind of destiny, just as the eclipses, they are connected to the eclipses. That's why we had a Cancer solar eclipse back in July. So things may be happening that have nothing to do with your current efforts, that just, it's seemingly random occurrences, meeting a spiritual teacher that changes your life and just takes you on a whole new adventure, or meeting your soulmate, 12th house, karmic or twin flame, things like that. So just be prepared for a lot of more developments, to be continued is how I would end this reading. But a card of victory, the Chariot. So I hope you enjoyed this, Leo. If you would like a private reading, please click on the link below this video to my taking you to my web store, and we can take it from there. I wish you a wonderful, magical October. Bye.